Hello, this is Ethan Hawke, and you are watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome to the Broadway.com show, your weekly guide to the most scintillating stage stories. Or, as we like to think of it, a show that won't be shutting down anytime soon. On to the news. What's the buzz, Mark?
Tennessee Williams' beloved classic, The Glass Menagerie, is back on Broadway with a brand new production at the Booth Theater. Two-time Tony winner Cherry Jones leads a top-notch cast including Celia Keenan-Bolger, Brian J. Smith, and Zachary Quinto, who's making his Broadway debut. On opening night, we asked Jones why she loves playing one of the greatest stage roles of all time, Amanda Wingfield.
I don't even know when to breathe sometimes as Amanda. She is quicksilver. She's all over the place emotionally. She's loving. She's temperamental. So for an actress, it's just heaven to be able to have to turn on a dime, turn on a dime, turn on a dime. And so it's like being on a jungle gym, you know, a theatrical gym, the best kind of jungle gym in the world if you're an actor.
Okay, Broadway.com video blog fans, it's time to bow down to the Queen. And by Queen, we mean the one and only Lesli Margherita of Matilda. Yes, Mrs. Wormwood herself is our newest vlogger with her new series, Looks Not Books. Get ready to become intimately acquainted with Pooch Stewie, co-stars Gabriel Ebert, Craig Bierko, and Jill Pace, and a whole lot of maggots, also known as children. Welcome, Lesli.
Musical theater legends Stephen Sondheim and trumpet player Wynton Marsalis are teaming up for the ultimate Broadway jazz mashup, A Bed in a Chair, a New York love affair, and they've called in the perfect leading lady to headline the event. Three-time Tony winner Bernadette Peters, the star of Sondheim's Follies, Gypsy, A Little Night Music, and Sunday in the Park with George, just to name a few. There's no doubt that she's the leading lady for the job, but we have just one question. Can Bernadette Peters scat? We can't wait to find out at the New York City Center this November.
20 years after they collaborated on the hit song Breathe Again, Toni Braxton and Kenny Babyface Edmonds will enjoy a Broadway reunion next March in After Midnight. This celebration of the music of Duke Ellington has already attracted Fantasia Barrino and K.D. Lang as guest stars, and now Braxton and Babyface will bring a little smooth jazz to Harlem's Cotton Club. The 90s meet the 20s? We can't wait to hear what that sounds like.
On September 24th, the Tony-winning revival of Chicago celebrated a huge milestone with its 7,000th Broadway performance. Only two other shows in the history of Broadway have accomplished the same feat, Cats and The Phantom of the Opera. We soft-shoot our way over to the Ambassador Theater to celebrate with the stars of the Razzle-Dazzle musical and to find out why now is the best time to see Chicago. We think Roz Ryan, who's currently playing Matron Mama Morton, summed it up best.
It's hot. It's still hot. It's a wonderful show. People come in and they can just get entertained and just have a good time, and they can see some of the prettiest people on Broadway.
Hi, I'm Blythe Danner, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Thumbs up to this first look of the bewitching Meryl Streep on the set of the Into the Woods movie musical. After famously transforming into a devil in Prada, Streep seems to be casting her own stunning spell over the role Bernadette Peters originated on Broadway back in 1987. Streep is joined by Johnny Depp, Anna Kendrick, and Emily Blunt in the film, directed by Chicago's Rob Marshall. The only grim thing about this incarnation of Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine's twist on our favourite fairy tales, we have to wait until Christmas 2014 to see it.
Thumbs down to distracting stage stars with the clicking of your camera. True Blood hunk Joe Manganiello flipped on a Shutterbugging fan in the audience of A Streetcar Named Desire last week at Yale Rep after the non-stop picture taking got to be too much for him. Oh man, we wish we saw the look on the audience member's terrified face as the beefy star took them down from the stage. Amateur production photographers everywhere should remember that scary image. If you snap from your seat, Big Joe's gonna get you.
Tons of Broadway stars hit the red carpet for opening night of The Glass Menagerie last week. In the show, Laura Wingfield spends her time doting on her collection of glass animals. So we asked the first nighters what they might keep a menagerie of. These Broadway stars' secret collections are this week's pop poll.
Shoes.
And guitars.
Shoes and guitars.
Oh yeah. Glass animals. I love the unicorn, especially. They're extinct in the modern world, I believe.
I was really big into army men, those little plastic army men.
I used to have a collection of student debt. I have a definitely obsessive collection of all of the notes from opening nights of all my casts in like a box somewhere.
I fully had probably 250 Beanie Babies growing up. I recently just donated them though, so they've been taking up space in my parents' basement until like a month ago.
I used to collect McDonald's Garfield mugs, and I still have my 80s McDonald's Garfield. Those are my de facto morning coffee mugs.
I pretty much have a collection of real animals. I have 2 dogs and a cat, so I feel like that's pretty much my collection.
When I was in like middle school, I had like a ticket collection. I liked to see a play or a musical. I liked to see a movie, so I kept some tickets around, and then I was like, someday I'm gonna just throw these all away. And that's what happened to them.
Hi, I'm Danielle Brooks, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
It's time for this week's Broadway Smackdown. Last week, we asked theater fans which TV show they're more excited to see Patti LuPone appear on. American Horror Story Coven, as a religious fanatic who faces off against Jessica Lange's Supreme Witch, or the upcoming 3rd season of the hit HBO comedy Girls. The results are in, and American Horror Story won the battle of Patti versus Patti with 90% of the vote. Now onto this week's showdown. In case you've been living under a rock, AMC's insanely addictive, Emmy-winning hit drama Breaking Bad came to an end this week. After the finale aired, Twitter exploded with outpouring from fans who will miss getting their fix from stars Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul. So, what should they do next? We think come to Broadway. We want to know, which Emmy-winning Breaking Bad star would you love to see make his Broadway debut? Bryan Cranston or Aaron Paul? Tweet your vote to @BroadwayCom with the hashtag #BWaySmackdown, then check back next week to find out who comes out on top.
This week's Tweet of the Week comes from former Book of Mormon star Andrew Rannells, who went to a West Coast bash with fellow Broadway alum Patty Murin and perhaps noticed some eccentric facial hair. Andrew tweets, "So, Patty Murin and I are at a party with either a lot of hipsters or the cast of Breaking Amish LA. We really hope this doesn't mean there was a shunning at that party or that those little white bonnets are in fashion." You can follow this Tony nominee @Andrew Rannells.
Sarah Jessica Parker became an expert at designer stilettos during her Sex and the City days, and in this week's Hot Shot, the star gave her adorable twin daughters, Tabitha and Loretta Broderick, a Broadway-style footwear tutorial. SJP and her fashionable 4-year-olds got a good look at Cinderella's crystal-studded glass slippers during a backstage visit. Thanks for introducing your girls to musicals, SJP, and we'll see you on stage soon in the Manda Pete's The Commons of Pensacola.
All 4 stars of the Glass Menagerie are giving stunning performances, but we're bestowing the honor of Star of the Week onto Zachary Quinto, who really impressed us in the tricky role of narrator Tom. Quinto adds intriguing layers onto all of Tom's relationships in the show, with Mom Amanda, crippled sister Laura, and even the gentleman caller, who he seems to wish was more than just a friend from down at the factory. Who knew Hollywood's favorite half Vulcan would turn into the Tom Wingfield of our dreams?
Thanks for tuning in to another awesome week of the Broadway.com show. We'll leave you with a huge, giant, larger-than-life, extraordinary sneak peek of the new musical Big Fish, starring Norbert Leo Butz, Kate Baldwin, and Bobby Steggert. Catch you guys next week.
On a wing or on a prayer, you'll get there only with your voice. Be attentive, be inventive, be the first one to rejoice. With a story in your heart, you won't need any other choice.